plugged these into Desmos earlier. So there was our slope-intercept. And you can see that this is accurate. It starts at 3, and it goes up 1 over 2, and here's our next dot. Up 1 over 2, and here's our next dot. Here are the 2-point slope forms. Whoops, sorry. And you can also see that these are correct because the point that I would pull out from here would be -4, 1, and that's a point on our line. 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. And the other point from the other point slope would be -2, 2. And you can see that's also a point on our line. And then our slope, of course, is up 1 over 2. So you can see that one makes sense. Now the last one is the standard form. And that one is, sorry about that, x minus 2y equals -6. In order to check that this one fits the equation, which obviously because we graphed it on Desmos it does, but we could check the x-intercept and we can check the y-intercept. And so the x-intercept, when I want to find the x-intercept, it's me wondering where does it hit on the x-axis. And so anywhere in the x-axis, y is 0. So it would be x minus 2 times 0 equals -6. And then I would get x equals -6. And I can see that x does in fact hit a -6. That point is -6, 0. And then I want to check the y-intercept. So I'm going to plug in a 0 for x. So 0 minus 2y equals -6. -2y equals -6, and y equals 3. And I see, of course, that it does hit at 3. 0, 3. So all of these forms make sense as the same line. All right, good luck with the rest of the worksheet. Thanks for watching. All right, so here's an example problem if you're having trouble with the chart on the back side of the all 3 forms worksheet. So what you'll be given is 2 points. So for example, -4, 1 and -2, 2. Now this isn't an example on your worksheet, but it's an example similar to what you'll see. The first thing that it's going to ask you to do is write the equation of the line in point-slope form. Now, again, remember what we're doing here. If you can kind of just visualize a graph, and we'll kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1, 2, 1, 2. There's going to be 2 points there, and then there's going to be a line that goes through it. And we could write an equation for that line in point-slope. We could write an equation in slope-intercept form. We could write an equation in standard form. And so it wants us to write the same equation in all 3 forms. Now, point-slope, remember, you're going to need a point and you're going to need a slope. So we have some points, but we don't have any slope yet. So what we're going to have to do is find the slope. So m equals, and then remember it's our y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So y2, you could pick either of them, but we'll just go with this one. So 2 minus 1 over -2 minus -4. Okay, and then 2 minus 1 is 1. -2 plus 4 really is 2, and that's my slope. Now, I have a point and I have a slope, and so I can actually put the equation in point-slope. I can use either point, and I'll show you both answers. So there's one answer using this would be y minus, because remember point-slope is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so y minus this number, 2, oops, sorry about that, equals m, so 1/2 times x minus -2, which would be plus 2. Okay, then, or I could have done this problem. So y minus 1 equals, same slope, 1/2 times x minus -4, which would become plus 4. So either of these answers are okay. You can have either one. Now, when we go into slope-intercept form, it doesn't actually matter which example we use because it's going to turn out to be the same number either way. So what we can do here is we can take the either problem, this one or this one. I'm going to use this first one right here. And I'm going to change it into slope-intercept. So y minus 2 equals 1/2 times x plus 2. Okay, and to make it into slope-intercept, remember I want to get it into y equals mx plus b. So in other words, I want y alone. So y minus 2 equals 1/2 x plus 1/2 times 2 is 1. And then I'll just add my 2 onto both sides, and I get y equals 1/2 x plus 3. And so that is the equation in slope-intercept form. So I've got slope-intercept, I've got two different options for point slope, and now I'm going to take my slope-intercept and I'm going to convert it into standard form. So remember, standard form is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c have to be integers, positive or negative whole numbers, but a has to be a positive number. Okay, so we're starting with our slope-intercept, y equals 1/2 x plus 3. We're going to subtract off 1/2 x from both sides, and we get negative 1/2 x plus y equals 3. Now, there's two things wrong with this form, so we're not done. One, there's a fraction, and two, a is negative. So I have to multiply both sides of the equation by something to get rid of the negative and the fraction. So I'm going to multiply by negative 2 because 2 is the denominator. So once I distribute all of this, I get negative 2 times negative 1/2, which is 1, so 1x, minus, because negative 2 times y is negative, so minus 2y equals negative 6. And so those are my three forms. Now, if you want to plug this in onto Desmos, you can, and it will show you if you plug in this equation, or this equation, and this equation, and this equation. If you plug all these in, it's going to be the same exact line. Now, if you do one of your questions and you plug them into Desmos and one of them isn't the same line, then you made an error somewhere. So I'll show you that I